What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Don't Forget About Me, the Supernova version, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, I was talking with Walking Keys earlier today, and we were just kind of talking about this Conclave Arcana announcement, doing a little debrief on how the town hall went. And the truth is, there was like an insight that I had with him, and we kind of just discussed a little bit more, which I figured was worth bringing up here in a video. And that's why the main gist of it is just starter packs, and why I think starter packs are going to be really, really valuable to this ecosystem. Now, on the face of it, it doesn't seem like starter packs are necessarily worthwhile, right? Like, they're highly inflationary. I mean, they're infinitely inflationary in terms of like the cards that can be minted from them. And they don't offer any other benefits, right? You can't get any gold foil, you can't get any black foil, you can't get any legendaries or epic cards. And so all they're essentially going to do is offer people a chance to throw a dollar, at kind of like a gamble, right? Just throw a dollar, see if they can get something. You're guaranteed to get a rare card, so maybe you get a summoner, maybe you get some, a decent top tier rare card that ends up being part of the set. But ultimately, it's going to drive down the value of commons and rares because we can mint an unlimited number of them. And so, again, on the face of it, in a card game like Splinterlands, where you look at like card scarcity as something that should have value and should have meaning and whatever, I'm now trying to, and maybe this is just me coping and rationalizing with it, but the way that I see it, especially with the announcement of the black foil cards and the black and gold foil arcane cards that will be coming out, we now have this kind of divergence when it comes to cards. Because in the past, we've either had a situation where all the cards were too expensive or all the cards were too cheap, right? When the big boom happened during the 2021 bull run, before Chaos Legion came out, everything got expensive, right? Everything in Untamed was like through the roof, Untamed and Dice. Then Chaos Legion comes out and we print way too many cards, and that drives the entire set value down, right? So like everything just becomes super cheap, whether it is the common cards, the rare cards, or even the legendary summoners. Now we're entering into a situation where you can have an actual divergence within a set where you're going to have these chase cards, right? You're going to have, obviously, your epics and legendaries, which are always going to be valuable, but you're going to have these gold foil arcane, black foil arcane, and just regular black foil cards that people want to go after. But at the same time, the entry into the game will be made significantly easier. Even for someone like myself who's already in the game, I'm almost looking at this and saying, well, you know what? Like, if commons and rares end up being cheaper, especially since I believe the initial summoners are going to come out as rares, right? They usually do. If those are going to be cheaper, then it offers an easier, more financially dynamic, like a way for people to join the game and just start playing, right? Like, at the end of the day, you don't have to come in and buy like super expensive summoners. And when you look at like the rare summoners for Rebellion, I mean, those are still relatively high priced, right? Can you imagine if, for example, the Rebellion rare summoners had ended up being super cheap because there were a lot of cards that were minted, and therefore it made it easier for folks like myself or any new players coming into the game to buy Rebellion. But the top tier cards, right? Your epics, your legendaries, and of course, any chase cards that are considered collector's items still held the value of the entire set up. I think that there is an opportunity there. I think that there is something that we can kind of do with that divergence, that dichotomy of within a card set, right? And so as we move forward, that's how I'm starting to think about the starter packs, right? At the end of the day, it's going to set aside, well, it won't burn, but set aside some DEC in the DAO, right? It'll lock up some DEC in the DAO every time people go through and they want it. Like, it's $1, so people might just, again, flyer's chance, just a little gamble. It makes it easy to do it for just a single pack. You know you're not going to get anything super crazy out there, but if you can get a rare, if you can get a summoner, if you can get something, and maybe it gets to the point where like these packs are not even worthwhile anymore because it drives the value of all the commons and rares down. Again, that could absolutely happen. It might happen, and maybe it'll make people upset. Maybe it'll make me upset in like 12 months. I don't know. But at the very least, it's not going to impact the epics and rares. Epics and legendaries. So as we move forward, I mean, one of the things that I'm thinking of is like these epic and legendary cards are going to be very scarce, or at least as scarce as Rebellion was, depending on how many packs end up being sold. But even still, right? If you're looking at it, there were potentially 10 million packs with Rebellion, whereas that's just not the case with Conclave Arcana, right? There's 6.5 million packs, and sure, 50,000 or 500,000, I think. 500,000 in total, right? Pre-sale and general sale will be legendary packs. So what's interesting is like the legendary cards might be inflated a little bit because of the legendary packs, which would make the epic cards maybe the most interesting and probably the scarcest to get and most difficult to get, not just because of how the BCX to max them out, but now literally like there are legendary packs, which means we're going to be minting extra legendaries, right? And there's going to be starter packs, which aren't going to mint epics or legendary cards. So I don't know. To me, this is going to be a new era, obviously in many ways for Splinterlands, but a new dynamic within a pack set that will create hopefully a virtuous divergence that makes it easy to onboard new players because they can come in and get started for relatively cheap while not hurting the overall set value and the chase cards that people want, right? Like if you open up like a black foil legendary card or something like that, I mean, you're going to be in a top tier position, right? You're going to have a card that nobody else really has, and it cannot really get devalued in the same way, whereas like all of the legendary summoners for Conclave Arcana, not Conclave Arcana, but Chaos Legion did, right? It's just like, oh, okay, I opened a gold foil legendary, but guess what? There's like still 10 million packs out there, right? So that's just not going to be the case with Conclave Arcana. So I don't know. I was just thinking through that insight, talking through it with Keys, and figured I'd share it here, but I'm curious to get your thoughts on this moving forward as we potentially see this divergence with starter packs and the chase cards that will be coming in with black foil and all the arcane foil. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.